I am in holiday mood right now because for the next couple of weeks we'll be creating DIY Christmas calligraphy cards. So I had to dress accordingly. Hi friend, I'm Myra with Vial Designs, and in today's video I'm going to walk you through step by step how to create a beautiful and super easy Christmas calligraphy card with Floral Doodles. For this Christmas card that we're going to do, we're going to need the paper, and I'm going to be using this craft paper. It is 7 by 5 inches. We're gonna need a ruler to measure, pencil to sketch. We're going to need a monoline pen, and I'm doing a 03. This is the monoline studio pens by the Pigeon Letter, which I love. I'm gonna be using this brush pen. It's a Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen. This is where we're gonna write the message with. And then I'm also gonna be using this oil-based paint pen. This is extra fine, and this is gonna be for doing some details. So the first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to measure a rectangle in the center of the card. Since this one is roughly 5 inches, I'm going to measure 175 on either side, and then the center is going to be 1.5 inches. So 175. So now what I'm going to do is, with my monoline studio pen, I'm going to start making the doodles on top and the bottom. And I'm going to erase this a little bit. So the line is just for me to have an idea of where I'm going to make the doodles. If you like, you can sketch your doodles with pencil, and I always recommend for you to do that if this is your first time doodling. I'm going to go ahead and make them directly with the monoline pen just to save us a little bit of time. This one is very simple. We're just gonna draw a line, and then we're gonna make short lines on either side. This first one, and then we're gonna have 2 other lines coming up. For this next one, we're going to draw 3 circles. These are going to be our berries. And then we're going to do some shadings and details in the inside. And then you can draw these little branches as a filler to fill in the gaps of any spaces that you don't want them to be so big. And now we're doing this greenery with the petals rounded, and then I'm going to color them inside. Another option you can do is to color only half of the petal, and that's going to make a different type of greenery, or you can leave them blank. It's totally up to you. Moving on, we're going to make a couple of flowers here, and we're going to do a small center with pointy petals. And then to give it a little bit of contrast, we're going to do just half of the flower, as you see right here, because we're keeping in mind the line that we drew. So this is as if the greenery and the flowers were coming from behind the rectangle. And then we're going to do another piece of greenery like we did at the beginning. And as always, you can add these little branches in between them just to give it a little bit of contrast and not to leave so many blank space around the rectangle that we drew. And this is our last piece of greenery that we're gonna draw. And now that we're done drawing the floral doodles and the greenery on one side, we're gonna turn the card and do the same on the other one. And we're gonna draw the same doodles but in different order. So here I am starting with the little flowers, and then the first one I'm doing it half as if it's peeking out of the rectangle, and then I'm gonna draw another one next to it and another one half of it. As you can see here, you can play around with the doodles that you have. You only need around 3 pieces of flower doodles and then 2 or 3 pieces of greenery, and then you can play around with it. And as you can see, these floral doodles and greenery are very simple to make once we make it individually, and then when we combine them and put them all together, we create this intricate and beautiful looking card that we're doing here today. And that's what I love about these floral doodles. Okay, now that we are done with our floral doodles, we're gonna draw a line, and I'm making this line a little bit thick. You can skip the line if you would like. I just like the contrast that this line gives it with the rectangle that we draw in the doodles, so I'm gonna color it inside. And I did switch to the monoline 05 just because the tip is a little bit larger, and so it will be faster to color this line that I created here. And now that the line is done, I'm gonna be sketching with the pencil the quote Merry Christmas. And as you can see here, it doesn't always work out the first time. It was a little bit too close to the end, so I erased it and used my trusty desktop vacuum. If you don't have one, I totally recommend it, and I'll put the link to it down below. Now that I am satisfied with how the sketch in pencil is, I am using the Tombow Fudenosuke to write Merry Christmas in calligraphy. And as you can see, this is the real time. It is very slow, and make sure when you are writing, you take your time to write the quote inside of your card. And as you can see here, this one is very sped up, so I will definitely recommend to go slow so your letters look a lot better. And if you would like to learn calligraphy, I do have a workbook for that, as well as my lettering guide that has 25 different Christmas quotes and phrases that you can learn how to do in calligraphy. And after I finished erasing the pencil marks that were still left, I noticed that some of the ink faded a little bit, so I'm just going over the downstrokes with my Fudenosuke brush pen. Now, I think this card looks really beautiful like this, but we're gonna give it a special touch with this pen right here. And so first, you always have to shake it a lot. And I have this scrap piece of paper over here, which I'm gonna test it before I start writing. And so what we're going to do is we're going to just add some dots around the card, and then we're gonna do some stars. And for the stars, we're just gonna go like this. And then just dots everywhere or around the card. This part is completely optional. And then same on the other side. Okay, and I wish you could see this in person because the shine for this oil pen is really beautiful. And now you can totally leave the card like this, but I'm gonna be a little bit extra and we're gonna add some details to the letters. And I'm basically just creating a shadow with this silver pen. That's just something extra that you can do to decorate the card a little bit more and give it a little bit of more pop to the Merry Christmas, as you can see here. And here it is, our Merry Christmas calligraphy card with floral doodles all done. I think the result is beautiful and this card was really simple to make. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And that's it for today, but stay tuned for my next video because we're going to be making a beautiful watercolor holiday and greeting card. See you next time.